say all the time how things change, either going from bad to good or good to bad in the NBA in a moment's notice. But even for you, someone who understands that well, how strange have the last 2 weeks been, starting with J.I.'s injury and all the other injuries, and even the terrifying episode Terrence described that he endured?
No, I mean, it's even for our league, it's been crazy, and I think our guys have actually handled it well. If you go back and evaluate our play, we were 3-5 in the bubble, which we were hoping to do better. And yet, except for the Brooklyn game, we actually played pretty well, with injuries being a big part of it. So Boston, we're one stop away from winning, which would have been a really good win. Philadelphia, again, we're right there with 5.5 left, and they played a really good second half. So there was a lot more good than bad, and I feel good about that. I thought our guys were fine yesterday. They were really good today. Really good concentration, good intensity, and we got a lot done. And I think that we're in a good place, and I think that we'll play well on Tuesday.
Josh Cohen, OrlandoMagic.com.
Hey, Cliff. I know obviously a big emphasis is on Giannis and how you'll guard him throughout the series, but will slowing down or simply making things difficult on Chris Middleton be just as important?
Yeah, close to it. I mean, they're so good. They're eighth in offense, and Chris Middleton is one of, I believe, either 4 or 5 players in the NBA who has excellent efficiency at every range. If you look at his numbers, it's very impressive. I mean, he's got a mid-range game, he's got a step-back game, he's got a post-up game, he scores at the rim, and he's 41% from 3. So there's a lot that you have to do, and he defends. So there's a lot that you have to do to slow him down, and we've spent a lot of time on that already.
Josh Robbins, The Athletic.
Steve, would you please describe some of the things Eric Bledsoe does well defensively? What makes him special on that end of the floor?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, again, by the numbers, I think he's let's put it this way. He's an elite pick and roll defender. He has a great feel for, trailing a pick and roll, going under, getting back in front of the ball. He's physical enough and quick enough to be able to get into guys and, kind of blow up the pick and roll and just defend it all by himself. And then he has great pursuit on the plays when somebody with the ball is good enough to get away from him a little bit and get some separation. He can get back in the play and either get back in front of the ball or pursue from behind. So, I actually thought he was an all-star. I thought he was deserving of being an all-star. I would think that he was close to that. And he's been a terrific player for a long time, but I don't think he's ever played at a higher level than he has this year.
Josh Cohen, OrlandoMagic.com.
Have you decided yet whether Markelle or DJ will start game 1? And if DJ is coming off the bench, how beneficial is it to have a veteran like him in a reserve role during a playoff series?
Yeah, Markelle will start. We're trying to get to, if we can get healthy, what we're trying to get to is to get to the playing groups that we had before play stoppage. That's when we were playing at a high level on offense. This was all planned out, beforehand. I liked our groups. We were playing at a high level, and we're trying to get back to that. So that's the first part. The second back, DJ's invaluable. He's just invaluable to have around. When we were practicing, when we got here, and I sat down to talk to him about, our plan for the playing groups and for, as Markelle joined us, what we were hoping to get to. And he's always the same. He's like, Steve, as long as I get to play minutes, I don't care if I start, come off the bench, whatever you guys think is best for the team. And, you appreciate that as a coach. I know his teammates appreciate him. And DJ is just all about the right things.
Josh Robbins, The Athletic.
Steve, a question about how the NBA really works. Is there such a thing as bulletin board material in your league? And do you ever exploit it? For example, if people were out there saying your team has no chance?
I mean, to a certain degree, I do. You know, we have talked about that a little bit. Certainly, our guys understand. You know, how people are viewing our chances of winning. And I mean, I've been places before where, you know, maybe a player or somebody else makes a comment, but I think so for sure. You know, we all understand, but I think that we also understand we're capable of playing much better basketball than we played in our 4 meetings with them. And, you know, it's, you know, again, the NBA, the difference in talent is not always as significant as people think. The biggest thing we have to do, we're going to have to play well. We can't give possessions away. We're going to have to win the turnover game. We're going to have to win the fast break game somehow. We're going to have to win the rebounding game to have a chance. And our guys understand that.
Roy Perry, Orlando Sentinel.
Steve, just to kind of follow up on what you mentioned about playing groups, how much was Aaron able to do today in practice, and do you see him progressing enough to be ready for Tuesday? And an update on MCW.
Yeah, so AG did everything we did today. We didn't do contact though, but we you know, we did some defensive drills. He participated in all of those. He did all of the offense. And it was great to have him out there. You know, definitely uplifting for everybody. And, you know, again, we'll just see how he feels tomorrow after doing this today. If he feels good, he'll be able to practice tomorrow. And if he gets through that, then, you know, we're hopeful that he'll be able to play on Tuesday.
Josh Robbins, The Athletic.
You mentioned a couple times on previous calls playoff books. For those of us who aren't too familiar about them, you know, what are they, and what are the expectations as to how much players should pour through those and commit it all to memory, if that makes sense?
Only if they want to win. You know, if you were walking around our section of the bubble, you would see you'd see Dallas Maverick playoff books. You saw Philadelphia 76er playoff books. Everybody has playoff books. And it was interesting. Ty Corbin and I ran into one of the Mavericks assistants. We had our books, he had his books, and he was saying it's good to have the books, you know. For the players, study is a big part of this. And I've seen, as particularly younger players, grow in a 4, 5, 6, 7 game series just by they can gain the knowledge that when you really lock into another team personnel wise, you know, you can take more things away. And, you know, I think that's an advantage, a strength of our group. We have smart guys. They're able to do things within a game plan, and that will come out more in a series.
Any final questions for Coach Clifford? Go ahead, Josh.
Thanks for your patience on this. I mean, is this thing like a phone book? I mean, what is it, like 100 pages?
No. I mean, the coaches one is more comprehensive than the players. I mean, I've worked for a lot of different people, and everybody does it differently. You know, for me, you know, it's personnel, it's their core plays. You know, there's analytics involved in it. But I think that what I try to do, or we try to do, is give them information that they will look at. Like you said, I think if it's too much, a lot of guys are just going to, you know, not open it up. And I think it's a valuable part for a team to learn from. You know, what do they say? You're going to play the game that you're prepared to play. And we've had these days here to get ready. We do question and answer sometimes after practice, and we did it tonight, and guys were on it. I think our guys have the beginning of a good idea of, you know, what Milwaukee's strengths are, and I think as we go through the series, they'll gain more and more of an idea and understanding of what we have to do to try to win.
Josh Robbins.
My last question. Thanks for your patience. Yesterday, I think Gary Clark mentioned how valuable Terrence is during practices. If he senses teammates don't understand certain maybe coverages or why the team's doing things a certain way. I mean, he'll ask them because he just thinks it would help because he knows your answer will help his teammates play better. Is that something that you see or have noticed?
Well, I mean, from the beginning, the one thing that there's a lot of things that stand out about him, but he's a great teammate. He's very supportive of his teammates. He cheers for them, which is no small thing. I think he has good relationships with each guy. You can see, I mean, as you guys know, T. Ross is an easy guy to like, but he cares about the team and he cares about the teammates. The other part is, you know, he's been around. He's been through these series. He played in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I think he has a good understanding of how important it is to have clarity with the coverage or clarity with part of the game plan. So I think his experiences in Toronto help him in that way also.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cliff.